Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Explain series with your host Dr. Brett Palmer. In the Explain series we take a sexual health topic and explain it, and this week it is genital care, effectively how to wash your genitals correctly. Now you might be thinking, well, hang a minute, I'm a sexually active individual, I know how to wash, I've been washing for the last 15 to 40 years, so surely I know how to wash my genitals. Well, half the people who come to my clinic are coming because how they're washing their genitals is giving them problems which are preventable or can be reduced by washing correctly. And the other half, which don't have a problem with their washing products, could still improve their genital health by washing correctly. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, this advice is exactly the same. And so it's so how do you wash your genitals correctly? Well, if you're using soap and when you put your hands under the water it's making bubbles, or you're using shower gels or bubble baths or anything like this, stop using them. You can use them for your hair and for your body, but you don't use them anywhere near your genitals. Okay. The skin around the genitals, so it doesn't matter if it's the penis, on the head of the penis, if you have a foreskin, around the foreskin, if you don't, still the head around the skin around the penis as well, on the shaft of the penis and around the groin, and in if you're a female, the skin around the entrance to the vagina, and also around the vagina, the vulva, is very, very delicate skin. And it's not like the skin on your arm, on your leg, or on your torso, which is very, very tough skin. This skin can easily cope with bubbles. Now you're thinking, bubbles? What's with bubbles? Why is he picking on bubbles? Bubbles are formed by a chemical called a surfactant, and that's how you are able to form bubbles. And the problem with surfactants is they dry out the skin. Now soap manufacturers try and compensate for this by chucking in loads and loads of moisturiser, but they still have bubbles, and so you can still dry out the genital skin, and it might feel very, very clean, but it might also feel very, very dry as well. And as you dry out the skin, you can get little tiny cracks around the genital skin, which you can't see with the eye, but other types of bacteria or viruses can get in, because that's affected. That crack is, if you like, a little abrasion type crack, so a small little fissure in the skin, and even thrush, for example, can stay in those cracks, and it can be a little bit more difficult to get them out. So what you need to use to wash is use something that doesn't have bubbles. So the most common thing to use is just plain old water, and yes, you can wash very adequately your genitals if you just use water. It'll keep the skin in good condition. That's the cheapest method to use, and it's a method which many of my patients use as well. Another thing you can do is use a soap substitute. That is something like an emollient or an aqueous cream that can be very, very good at moisturising the general area. And not only does it moisturise, because some of these emollients are independent moisturisers, they can also be used as cleaning substitutes. And so little kids that have eczema on the skin, they tend to use these soap substitute products. And so if it's good enough for babies and children, then it's certainly good enough for adults. When you put it first on your hand and you start trying to lather up, obviously there's going to be no lather because there are no bubbles. And so it will feel, the first few times you use it, you'll probably think, my God, it feels like you're smearing margarine on your genitals. But what you will notice is it will wash off very, very easily, and your genital skin will feel moisturised directly after washing. And that is obviously looking after your skin much better than using something that will contain loads of bubbles. So it's much, much better, much, much healthier as well. And when you dry, you just need to pad dry as well. For the men, especially those with a foreskin, or if you have just a bit of fairly baggy skin covering the head of your penis, you need to pull back the foreskin or the skin as far as you can possibly go. And wash around it. And it's very important you do this so you can clean and keep the skin in good condition around the head of the penis, as well as around the testicles and underneath as well. And for women, if you are slightly a larger woman, then you also need to make sure that you pull back and any layers of subcutaneous fat and clean thoroughly in those areas. Again, using a soap substitute or just plain water around that area will also do it as well. In terms of moisturisers, most of the stuff you'll be using are sometimes, if it's an emollient, is an independent moisturiser as well, and so you can use them if you want to. For the women, what you must never do is douche. And you're probably thinking, what's douche? That's where you try and push water, either if you're in the bath or if you're in the shower, water into your vagina to try and sluice the vagina out. This is a very, very bad thing, because all you're doing is you're washing the good bacteria away. If you do have a change of discharge from your vagina, or for men, if you're having a discharge as well coming from the penis, please go and see your sexual health clinic, because you obviously need to get checked out. It may be something, it's probably nothing to do with a sexually transmitted infection, and could be other things that could be causing it, but it really needs to be checked out. And so please pop along to your sexual health clinic to get it sorted and to get further advice. That's basically it for washing, and the reason why we're doing a genital care episode is the next few episodes we'll be looking at things like bacterial vaginosis and thrush, and the leading causes of these problems are people washing incorrectly. One last question, and that's about baths. If you are going to use a bath, please don't use bubble baths, because this again can cause quite a lot of problems around the genital mucosa, especially in females. So, thank you for watching. If you like this episode, please subscribe, share, and press like. And I hope to see you next week. So, good sexual health, and take care. Bye bye.